Hey, everybody. This is John Odom, one of your hosts of Open World Chat, which is the podcast you have turned to just now. And I'm here with my co-host, Mark Card. Mark, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I hope everybody else is doing well too.
Yeah, so today we're going to have we always have some fun. I was going to say today we're going to have some fun, but it's the whole point, right? Um, but we're going to talk about our favorite fight scenes. And why and what
Yeah, we
makes a
are.
good fight scene. And, we've done top lists and we each, I think, have some top lists, but it's some of these favorites they're more of a mush because there's all kinds of different reasons and things that spill into a fight scene. And for whatever, I mean, I tried to make, how I like to say, well, I think these are the elements of, you got to have this. I always do that, right? Yeah, more or less. But I tried to do that with fights. I couldn't do it. There's too many.
It's a lot more complicated than just say most influential or it's just complicated. It's just, it's like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, there's the stakes, there's the choreography, there's how much you hate the bad guy, there's emotional catharsis. I mean, I could just go on with what makes a good fight scene, but at the
well,
end of the day, it's the one we take away with us.
yeah, I just think it shows you more, like a lot of things we talk about. It shows you more about your own perceptions than it does about the movies or the TV shows that we're going to refer to.
Mm-hmm. And I did, even though we're talking movies and TV, I did sneak in a comic book one because,
Well,
I
that's
do
okay.
that.
That's
And it's another one. It's one of those. It doesn't really count as a fight, but it was. And it was
well,
just fantastic.
fights don't necessarily require physical confrontation, direct physical confrontation. Think about scanners.
Yeah, it's true. That's Scanners is good.
That's an epic fight, but
Mhm.
nobody touches each other.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's excellent. Those mental fights, those are good. That's a good choice to come up with.
I just thought of another one too,
Hmm.
from Star Trek Six: The Undiscovered Country,
Oh, it's interesting. I have a sort of
where
uh
Spock invades
yeah.
Kim Cattrall's mind.
Yeah, I thought about that one. That one actually made me a little uncomfortable, so although I carried it with me, I can't say it's one of my favorites, that's for
No,
sure.
it's not. It's very uncomfortable,
Yeah.
especially once you understand just what's involved.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a fight. That's a brutalization.
Kind of is. Yeah. Although I'd still call it a fight, honestly. It was just a very one-sided fight.
Well, is it a fight if no one resists?
Oh, there was resistance there. She's like in pain. She's like, no. I mean, she doesn't say that, but you know what I mean. I think
Well,
that's a fight. I think she was just completely outclassed and there was no chance.
there was not much resistance.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying.
Didn't last long. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and mention my comic book one though, just to get it out of the
Yeah,
way.
let's do that one first. Sure.
Yeah. So it counts as an honorable mention, I suppose. We're just going to scatter these around. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we'll get to our top ones. But the classic fight that's not a fight in Justice League between Batman and Guy Gardner. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh my God. So Guy Gardner, of course, one of the Green Lanterns, the one who was in the Superman movie,
Yeah.
who's just a total dick. He's awful. So he was in this iteration of the Justice League, and
Yeah.
it was an interesting combination of characters. But Batman was briefly in it, um, and everybody hates him. He's driving everybody crazy. Especially Black Canary, and who despises him. And finally, he gets so sick of Batman, he like he says, "All right, that's enough. I'm sick of you. I've had it." And he takes off his ring and gives it to Blue Beetle, I think, and says, "Here, hold this. We're gonna do this. Just we're just gonna fight this out. And I'm mad, and here I come." And he comes running into Slug Batman, and Batman just boom hits him with one punch in the face, and he falls over, and then and everybody's cracking up, and Black Canary comes in and says, "Oh my God, I missed it! I can't believe I missed it." It's classic though for comic readers of that era. All you have to do is say Batman versus Guy Gardner, and they will all know that fight, such as it was, and they will
Well,
all
let's hope it
laugh
shows
their
up in a
asses
James
off.
Gunn movie.
That would be funny. Oh, it could, because he comes out of that era of comics too.
Well, plus he really loves finding little things like that. You can tell by his Superman that he wants to find these weird little details and include them as fan service, but they're so obscure. There's like, 100 fans who get it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of fans would of a certain age would get that, and yeah, that'd be a blast. You've got me hopeful now.
Well, he said he loves Batmite.
Oh,
So he is strongly hinting that Batmite is going to show up.
oh dear. Well, so that one is one that doesn't really count as a fight, but it was a fight. There were punches or there was punch thrown. Somebody was knocked out. But
Yeah.
do you have any like that like weren't really fights, but they were fights and you took them with you?
Trying to think if I can. No, not really. I mean, most of mine, the one that I would include is I love this scene. First of all, because it's done by a master kung fu fight choreographer, Yuen Woo-ping. He's the guy who did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Ooh,
Uh,
which we're going to talk
he's
about.
the guy who did all the Matrix fights.
Mm.
That's Yuen Woo-ping. Uh, he did the fight choreography for the first Charlie's Angels movie with
Oh.
Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu. And the opening fight scene has Drew Barrymore tied to a chair with her hands behind her back, kicking five guys' asses. It is a great fight scene. Uh, who cares that it's Drew Barrymore and it's fantasy, but there's really almost no fight involved. Some guys throw some punches at each other, but she just kicks their asses up one side and down the other, the whole time with her hands tied behind her back.
Hmm.
And it just establishes that this is not going to be kind of a goofy crime fighter movie that's all about the 70s TV show, that this is going to be that show on steroid and speed.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's a great fight scene. It's really well choreographed. And, like all of his fight scenes, people jump higher than it's possible.
Oh, a lot of
And
wire, for sure. A lot
they're,
of wire
yeah,
work.
they're a lot more flexible than they should be. But
Yeah.
understand that all this stuff is pretty well based in the principles that you would see in this actual martial arts. There's a lot of Wing Chun in Yuen Woo-ping's fights. Uh,
Well, and we're definitely going to come back to him once this sort of conversation sort of funnels down into our true favorites. Um, unless that was already one of your favorites.
it's not. I'll mention those later.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to him because I'm glad you just brought him up right away. That is
Well, how can you have
amazing fight choreography.
I mean, really, how can you have any kind of discussion about best fight scenes in the last 30 to 40 years without mentioning him? I mean, he's just everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, everywhere, and it's all good. I mean, sometimes some of that wire work kind of does get to be a bit much and make me roll my eyes. But on the other hand, it can be so cool when it's that cool.
All right, you got no one for me that comes to mind?
Well, a good example of one, um, I'm going to throw another one. No, I'm not going to do that. What am I going to give you? Oh, I got one. Not one of my favorite fight scenes ever, but I'm going to go the opposite direction from the sort of emotional reaction of just laughing your ass off and watching Batman and give Guy Gardner what he's got coming to him. I'm going to go for spectacle here. And in terms of spectacle, I think the big fight in Kill Bill Part One,
Yeah,
the bride on the way, going through the whole room of about 100 assassins,
right.
lot of that kind of work there, and
And he's beating the crazy 88s.
and yeah, right, and that's amazing. I mean, it's way over the top, but it is the thing more than anything else that you take away from that movie. And I dare say it's the thing more than anything else that you take away from both movies. I mean, I have trouble remembering what else went on in those movies, even though I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the Kill Bill movies, I really did. But the part that grafted itself into my brain was that fight, and it was just pure spectacle and a degree of ludicrousness that was part of this skeptical spectacle. Gee gods. But anyway, so I'd throw that one out there at you.
Yeah, Kill Bill has a lot of great fight scenes in it.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite, of course, is talk about catharsis and emotional impact is the fight between her and Lucy Liu's
Yeah.
Oren
Yeah.
Ishii.
Yeah.
That is a classic samurai duel. The whole image of the snow and the water pump is so Japanese, it's crazy.
Hmm.
Um, and he took that from another movie, and I can't think of the name of the movie.
No, really.
Yeah, it's very similar to a samurai movie. I just recently saw a thing about this, and it's heavily based on that fight. There's this big
Hmm.
samurai sword confrontation in the snow. But let's go back to a previous show. A lot of that fight is about sound design.
Hmm.
You can hear the very light steps from both people, both uh, Beatrix Kiddo and Oren Ishii on the snow. You can hear they're not stomping around on the snow. They're very light on their feet. You hear the water trickling and the bouncing of the wooden scale balance.
Yeah.
Uh, it's
And you,
just full of tension, and you finally get this kind of, I think that's the second biggest emotional release you get from watching her methodically go through all of the assassins until she gets Bill. I think that's really kind of the big one, besides Bill.
no, I can see that for sure. I mean, it's that there's a reason why it's the climax of that first part. It's
And
the
and
final
this
moment.
this this is something that's really important when you consider a list like this. Context of the fight is as important as the cool choreography and the moves and whether or not it's a realistic fight. Context of the fight is really what I think determines whether it's a good fight or not.
And
Because
context is very close to the emotionality that catharsis, that you get from it. They're not exactly the same, but they're related,
well, the stakes have to be high enough.
Hmm. Hmm.
The confrontation has to be, I don't know, for lack of a better word, raw enough. Um, it, it's it's just a tricky thing. It's not that easy to figure out which ones are your favorites and which ones aren't here
Yeah.
because there's just a lot to unpack with every single fight scene.
Yeah.
So it's turning out to be a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be.
Right. Well, what the hell? I'm looking at my list and I can find a basic order for it. Let's throw into instead of just bouncing around, let's go in more or less order. I just did Kill Bill and I would say that would be my number 8 or so. So give us a couple of yours and we'll bounce back and forth and do a countdown.
I want to take my number 10. We're going to do my number 10 first.
Okay.
And it's because it's going to refer to other things, something we're sure to talk about in the top five. You ever seen the old horror movie from the 80s called Motel Hell?
Oh yeah. I, I mean, I don't remember much, honestly, other than the heads in the dirt.
Yeah, the guy's planted in the dirt. But
Yeah, yeah. Um,
the
I
final
don't remember a
battle,
lot of it, but
the final battle is a battle of chainsaws.
oh,
And one guy is wearing a pig's head.
oh, right. Now I'm remembering this. Yes, you're
So
bringing it all back to me.
it's a duel with chainsaws, and the bad guy is wearing a pig's head.
Hmm.
What does this sound like to you?
That sounds pretty twisted. Kind of reminds me of Texas
Oh,
Chainsaw
no, no,
Massacre.
no. This is a reference to a very famous duel.
Wait, which one?
Darth Vader
Oh, you think?
and Luke Skywalker. I absolutely think this is an homage to that battle.
I can
Instead of a helmet, he's got a pig's head.
and
Instead
they're
of lightsabers, they have chainsaws.
yeah, okay.
I am sure this was a purposeful reference to uh, Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader at the end of what is it, Empire Strikes Back? No, Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
I am positive that's what that is. And I love it for that reason alone.
Hmm.
I have this thing where I try to figure out what references are being made in movies. So, like, did you ever see this is this dumb movie, and I only saw it because I was bored and it was at a dollar theater. There's a Pamela Anderson movie called Barbed Wire.
You know, I never actually saw it. I was aware of it, but I didn't see it.
Try and stream it. It's a
Really?
retelling of Casablanca.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
I don't know if that makes me want to see it anymore.
No, no, but I love it when they try to do this, when they try to hide things in plain sight. That is, this is a terrible, campy B movie. It's an action movie, but it's the entire plot is the plot of Casablanca.
Yeah, you know, though sometimes I think that kind of thing is because people just aren't creative and they run out of ideas. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think this is exactly what's going on there. The guy had to write a movie, an action movie with Pamela Anderson in it, and he thought, "Huh, what's one of the great movies that's there? And maybe I can steal that plot." But that's exactly what it is, and I like that kind of audacity.
Yeah, I mean, like it makes me think of how Avatar was sort of like, you know, Fern Gully, but I
Yep.
don't think there was an intention there. I think there was just a lack of creativity. But yeah.
Well, that's my big beef with James Cameron anyway.
Hmm.
He's great with the special effects and great with the, you know, with that stuff, the technology, but he's not so good on story.
No, he's not. He's not.
That's not really his emphasis. If he
He's
hired better writers, his movies would be a lot better than they are.
That's true. That's true. Well, God, you make me the chainsaw thing, of course, makes me think of Ash going down to fight Henrietta or let her out of the basement and the eyeballs flying and everything and the chainsaw hand. But
But
anyway,
yeah, I love that move that final fight scene in Motel Hell because I was watching it late at night. Uh I don't remember where I was. It was by myself and I was like, "Wait a minute. Wait a minute." And so I started watching the scene and I just replayed it in my head. So I'm like, yeah, this is Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi. That's all this is.
mm,
That's what it is. They've recreated this for a horror movie, and I just like I said, I just like that kind of audacity.
mm, mm, mm. Well, I'll give you one, and I'm going to give you one that falls. I already did this with Batman versus Guy Gardner, but I'm going to
Yeah,
give you one that falls into a this barely counts as a fight, but it was so emotional. The context was so powerful that I walked away with it. Again, it
yeah,
burned itself into my brain, and I think that's the main thing that makes a good fight scene. And that's when Eowyn kills the Lord of the Nazgul in Return of the or Return
man,
of the
that is a great scene.
Jedi. You know, Return of the King, not the Jedi. Whoops.
Yeah,
That is just such a moment.
yeah,
Uh,
that's just pure gold. That is so great.
yeah, and like I say, it's barely a fight. It's, there's, you know, a shield gets shattered, and dude gets a knife in the back of the leg, but then it's just I am no man, and boom, and the music was perfect. It was just spot on.
Yeah, yeah. That it's barely a fight. Uh, she I think the character knows she has the upper hand.
Hmm. At that
And
point, she sure does. It's like
yeah,
she.
she knows his weakness.
Hmm.
And that's it. And after that, once you know your opponent's weakness, you have to exploit it to the max.
Hmm.
And I think that's a great example of that. Um,
All right, so I'm betting yours. I'm betting we're about to spill into the ones that are unquestionably fights here. Lots of
Oh no, we'll definitely talk about those.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I bet we're getting there though. We'll get to the
we're
ones
definitely
here
getting there.
that people who are listening are probably expecting to hear. They're coming.
No, I've got one more that's not a fight, but it's still great because it's so graphic and so terrifying. I've already mentioned Motel Hell and as a horror movie, and we don't talk enough about horror movies.
We don't. No.
We really don't. I just rewatched Late Night with the Devil this week, and so I'm kind of back on horror kick. Um, it's nah, you'll laugh at this. It's the original vampire movie from Sweden, Let the Right One In.
Really, I don't even remember a fight. Well, I don't remember that movie very well, honestly.
So
I remembered I
this
liked it. It was really good.
this is at the very end. It's the climax where the bullies are going to drown the main
Oh,
character.
okay, okay. Right,
And
right on.
the child vampire comes in. So it's happening in a pool at the school, and they're holding the kid under the water. And mostly what you see is the kid trying to hold his breath and trying to survive.
Right,
So all you see of the fight scenes is the gore and mayhem that ends up in the pool.
right. No, that's a really good one, and I did not see that coming, and I did not think about it even when you named the movie.
And it is terrifying
Mhm.
because you never see just how powerful she is. But you were talking about a girl who's, maybe 5'3", 110 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And you see
80.
an arm being dragged through the water behind the kid who's drowning.
Mhm.
That's all you see. And she's obviously flying, carrying him across the pool, and only his arm is dragged. You see some blood appear out of nowhere. And the climax of the fight is you see the main bully's head fall into the pool right in front of the kid that's drowning. You just see his head. And this is like the murder scenes in Psycho. This is like the gore or lack of gore in lots of movies. A lot of uh, a lot of fights and a lot of bad things that happen in movies you never see. It's the imagination you have of what happened to get this guy have his arm dragged through the pool and his head thrown out, and you hear screams like crazy, but you never really see the bad stuff.
Good one. I did not see that
Yeah,
coming. I didn't
but
even
it's not
remember
a
it.
fight at all. It
Yeah,
really isn't.
yeah,
It's a massacre. It's it's just it's vivisection is what it is.
yeah.
But that's one of my favorites of all time because it's it's really super subtle until it's not. All right.
All right, I'm taking us into the no explanation needed. There's punches or there's swords. I mean, we already have had some of those. I don't want to say they've all been. But I'm just like I'm not going for subtlety anymore. So
Right.
I'm going straight to one that, oh, I know you don't like. You know what's coming. Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David beating the hell out of each other, and they live in the fight that will not end.
Yeah, this is one of my least favorites. This wouldn't make my top 1,000 movie fights. It distracts from the pace of the movie.
Well, see, I would say the pace doesn't have a lot of movie, but or the movie doesn't have a lot of pacing very well, but it does grind it completely to a halt, and suddenly you're just in the fight. These two guys just they're getting tired, they're beating the hell out of each other, and it just goes on. And a million times you think, oh my God, it's finally over. Somebody lost. And then they get back up again, and then they're doing it again. And I love the point in it when uh, Piper swings a stick and smashes a window of a car. right
Yeah.
next to the other guy, and he's like, and he sort of smiles and says, "Oh shit, man, I'm really sorry." Like he had no idea he could have taken his head off with that, and then the fight just goes right back on, and I love it. I love it. It's just so, r- it's in its way, it's ridiculous, and that
Oh, it's
ridiculousness I
completely
just
ridiculous.
love.
It's more ridiculous than the plot that there's a uh, secret society of aliens controlling everything on the planet.
Mhm.
Um, this is an example where I think John Carpenter loved wrestling and loved Roddy Piper, and so just said, "Do whatever you want to here."
Must have been. Yeah,
And
I mean,
well,
it was choreographed, but not a whole hell of a lot, I don't think.
no, and uh, I actually heard him talking about, saw a clip of John Carpenter talking about Roddy Piper. And, there's this famous line that he says about when he comes in to kill all the aliens at the end. He says, "I've come here to do two things,
Yeah.
kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum."
Right.
Carpenter said he had that Roddy Piper had all these sayings and he wanted to get him into the movie. And basically Carpenter said, "Okay, use whichever ones you want." And they filmed a bunch of them, and then this is the one that stuck.
It sure does stand out. I mean, that line is like, oh, this line is standing out like a sore thumb, and not in a good way. It kind of takes you out of the movie. You're like, what? But it's still cool, so it doesn't matter.
um, yeah, so this is not one of my favorite fight scenes. This is one of those ones that I think just trashes the movie. And I would like to see a remake of that movie. We've talked about this before. I
Yeah.
think that movie is just prime for a really good dramatic version of this.
Yeah, I agree.
So you want to have a real fight? Okay, let's talk about a real fight. Let's talk about a fantasy fight. Let's talk about the fight between Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper, and the Mountain in Game
Oh
of Thrones.
God. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, I didn't think of that one. I could have put that on my list. That's sure memorable.
I love this fight because you go into it knowing Oberyn Martell is going to kill them. Oh crap! You know that's what's going to happen because it's Pedro Pascal. He
Mhm.
radiates this confidence in this role, and his reputation precedes him as somebody who's cunning and vile and just absolutely brutal as a fighter. And then with the spear choreography, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the mountain is getting killed.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, he's had his legs cut out from under him. He's been stabbed in the chest with this 14-foot long spear. You think he's toast. And then all of a sudden, there's an incredible reversal.
Yeah.
And
And yeah, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
what I was going to say is if you think about this fight, the very thing that makes you believe the Red Viper is going to win is the very reason why he doesn't. He's arrogant.
Yes, that's the only thing that bothers me about the fight is I do get tired of the you've got it. I mean, it's bad guys that do this, I guess usually. Well, except I like it when bad. Don't listen to me. I'm fine with it. I just don't like it when good guys do it, you know.
You mean the monologuing?
Yeah, exactly. The sort of stop, I've got you, and now I'm not going to get you because I'm arrogant, and that's going to be my downfall. I had an even harder time with this fight because we went into it. I thought the Mountain was going to win for sure, and so then it looked like he wasn't, and then we were back, and he does. So I was just like, oh God damn it.
Too much of a roller coaster for you, huh?
Yeah, and obviously I didn't read the books, or I would have known that. I know what kind of geek am I? I didn't read the books, but
I didn't read the books until after I saw the show.
there you go. At least
And,
you
and you
read
know
them.
what? People complain about that show and how it ruined season 8 ruined it, and it kind of did.
Hmm.
But I have news for you. The Winds of Winter is going to be a giant mishmash, just like season 8 was.
Yeah,
There are too many unresolved plot lines. It's going to be impossible for him to do it in one book.
in one book, right? Although those are big books, but the whole one season thing, that
He's
was the
not going to be
problem.
able to resolve all of those. And I don't.
Yeah.
I expect the same kind of the disastrous finale with the winds of winter, and then the following book, if he lives long enough to write it. I just don't see it. I just think he's bitten off more than he can chew, which is why he's having a hard time finishing them. But
Oh, he
anyway,
has. Yeah.
I like this fight for a lot of reasons. One is it is essential to this, to moving the story along. You have to have a resolution of this fight. Um, it is emotional, as we've already talked about. You bounce back and forth a lot in it. The fight choreography itself is just mesmerizing. Uh, it's just a great example of a classic fight scene in a story.
Hmm.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's one of my favorites. But besides that, it reminded me of how good an actor Pedro Pascal really is.
Yeah.
Um, and we can thank all we can. You know what show we can thank for Pedro Pascal, don't you?
No,
Buffy.
he was. Oh, that's right. He wasn't there. Well, was
He
that his
was
first break?
he he was on the skids.
Hmm.
He was thinking about going back to Chile or going back to quitting being acting because his parents moved here.
Hmm.
But he was going to quit acting, and then he booked this role, and he was able to pay rent. He was able to buy food. He was
That's
able to
right. You
go on.
mentioned this before. I remember this
Yeah.
story. Yeah, yeah.
He says that. I've seen him say that in two or three different interviews. He said basically Buffy saved my whole career.
Hmm.
So we'll be talking about Buffy later.
Yeah, I've got something to mention about Buffy too, although I would put it in honorable mention, but we'll get there. Um, yeah, and as far as the John Wick movies, you could call them one big fight scene if you wanted to, especially I think the last half of three and into four, where it's just a first person shooter
Mhm.
with actual actors. Well, not that they don't have actors too, but the sort of climactic scene on the steps, the fight on the steps in John
Mhm.
Wick 4 at the very end, which is, they've upped the ante so much with how do you have more over the top fighting than you've already had in four movies? But they pull it off because they give it a little of that symbolic value. John Wick fighting up the stairs, his last, and it's going to be, well, I guess it's his penultimate fight, but still, this is what's leading to the end for him, and he's going through.
Right.
It's like everything he's experienced in one sort of highly symbolic ongoing fight, and he does get help, which also is kind of cool and adds to it. But that stairs fight scene really stuck with me. It stuck with me more than anything else in those last two movies, which actually I
Yeah.
honestly found to be a little forgettable.
Speaking of that, I went and saw Ballerina.
Oh, you did. How was it? Was it
Yeah,
any good?
I liked it. I liked
Okay.
it. It's a little bit foggy in places, but these movies are not there for a really great plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is a duel with flamethrowers in this movie
Oh, wow.
that is really great.
All
Of
right. That
course, it's
sounds like fun.
completely unrealistic, but it's something to see.
It's on my watch list, but it's been there for a while and I haven't gotten around to it. But that's good to hear because honestly, I know like critics and such didn't like it, but you can't trust critics with a lot of this genre stuff. And that's really good to hear. I will
Yeah,
definitely go
I
watch it.
liked it. It's not my favorite movie, but for the kind of genre it is, for a comic book kind of revenge flicks, it's pretty good. I
Yeah.
liked it. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you the thing you come out of this movie is that Ana de Armas is a badass athlete.
Hmm.
She does a lot of the stunt work here, and she is a badass. So you
Hmm.
could put her. I mean, it's like I would put her in the ranks of Angelina Jolie and Charlize Theron
Oh,
in terms
cool.
of being able to do stunt work.
Well, that's excellent. That's good to hear. I'll have to, I
Did you?
hope we see more of her then.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Um,
Did you see Atomic Blonde?
yeah.
That's one that I wish I had thought of. The fight scene where she's alone with the refrigerator and using all of the different weapons, all of the different
Yeah.
kind of improvised weaponry because what I liked about that movie is that they really do show her having to do the things that a woman with less upper body strength would have to do to realistically beat a guy sizably larger than she is.
Hmm.
And man, the choreography in that movie is just non-stop, jaw-dropping fights.
Hmm.
That is a great movie. And I wish
Yeah.
I would have been able to pick out which specific scene it was.
Yeah, I was going to
But
say there's a lot of fights you can choose from in that. It's
but
another
if you
one that I want to watch again.
yeah,
I thought it was fun.
and the other one, the Angelina Jolie movie that made me realize how good she is at this is Salt.
Mm, yeah,
That's she shows some real skill for this kind of stunt work.
yeah, yeah.
So
And she has to be convincing. Yeah, yeah. Anyways,
yeah,
you're right about
everybody
that.
has to
It
be
is her.
convincing in these things,
Yeah,
and
especially since
these
that's such a
women.
tiresome, such an old story. Oh my God, that story's been told so many times. The Salt story.
You
But
know, one of my favorite versions of that is Peppermint.
Peppermint is one I have not seen of that
It's a good
genre,
one.
that story. Talk about being
Yeah,
out of stories, right?
Jennifer Garner. Yeah, she could do anything in her youth, that's for sure.
Yeah.
She was a complete badass in that movie.
Well, I know she did some of the work in Elektra too.
Right. Well, no, she did most of the work in her TV show
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. But
in Alias.
sure. What put her on the map? It's a bummer she's fallen off the map now. I really like her.
She's been raising her kids mostly, but
Hmm.
I liked her in her redo of Elektra
Oh yeah.
and Deadpool versus
You mean
Wolverine.
in Deadpool? Yeah, yeah. That was fun. That was really fun to see that character again. It was hilarious.
Well, she did a bunch of funny uh, Instagram reels when she was doing it too. Like she did a reel like these influencers do about her smoothie, and they were in the cave that Deadpool and Wolverine find them, and she's using her sai to spear fruit and stuff. She did a bunch of funny stuff. She's really got great comic timing.
She's talented. I
Yeah,
tell
they
you,
don't use her enough.
she deserves more work. But anyway, so what you got next here for us?
Okay, so well, we talked a little bit about are we ready to get into our top fives yet?
I just did with John Wick 4, but I think it's good because I think we're going to have at least a couple of the same ones. In
I want
fact,
to
I'm
talk about
sure of it.
I want to talk about the movie Serenity.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You mean the brutal final fight?
No,
No.
the best fight in that movie is River Tam versus everyone
Oh, okay.
in the
Of course, the
bar,
other big fight in the movie. There's only a
where she
couple big
sees
ones.
the what is it, the OD Fruity bar commercial,
Hmm.
and it sets her off. And she fights everybody in that movie.
Hmm.
Random bar patrons, Captain, tight pants, Zoe, Wash, everybody. She kicks everybody's ass. And if you own the DVD, they do a whole feature about the choreography of that fight scene.
Hmm.
Now, it's incredibly complex, and
It looked that way.
River Tam did every minute of that choreography. Not River Tam, Summer Glau did.
Right, right.
Do you know why she was able to do that?
Did she have fight training already?
She was a literal ballerina when Joss Whedon
Oh,
found her.
that's why he got to work and make it so dance-like when she was moving and certainly when violent. Yeah, that's great. That's a great skill set to show up with
Yeah,
for a role like
Summer
that.
Glau was a literal ballerina when he found her as an
Hmm.
actress, and she knew how to move, and she knew what was fluid and what wasn't, and she knew what would be effective and what wouldn't be. And I have to shout out to the fight coordinator that stunt coordinator that Joss Whedon used in a lot of his stuff, both in Buffy and Angel. The guy's name was Mike Massa, and he also was the stunt double for David Boreanaz. Mike Massa is a fight choreography genius. All of the stuff that was done in Buffy and Angel and Dollhouse and Firefly is almost all him.
Hmm.
And the thing that I like about Joss Whedon and fight scenes is that every character has a distinct style.
Oh, you think? Because actually, I kind of feel differently than that, and it's one of my. It's the first thing I thought of when you started talking about
Well,
him,
if
naming everything he said. I thought, yeah, I can really see the style in everything. That's
look at the
interesting.
difference between Buffy and Angel. Buffy's fight style,
Well, Angel uses more of his strength, his size, and
yep, Buffy is about uh position, she's about advantage, she's about leverage, and Angel is about pure brute strength and size. And you can see that on the screen.
It's funny. It's not on my top list. I had it for honorable mention, but this is the time to bring it up. And that's that a fight I really like is the end of second season, the ultimate Buffy versus Angel fight. I was looking at it again, where Angel at the very end comes back to his wits
Yes.
and she
Yeah.
kicks his ass anyway. I went and looked at it again. Not that well. It's not that good a fight, honestly. I think you've got two actors. It's one thing to teach actors to be able to move in a martial arts way, and obviously you're dropping in, pros doing it too. But
Yeah.
it's another thing with swords. That's a lot more difficult. And some of the stakes are higher, obviously. So I did not think it was that convincing a fight scene looking back at
Well,
it again,
let
but the emotional stakes were high, and the ending, and then some of that, that great moment when she catches the sword
yeah.
and comes back at him. It's a great, powerful fight to watch, even though I don't think it was that well done.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the swords because I was going to mention it as a good example of sword play.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. Yeah. See, I have a little background in this.
Hmm.
I was a competitive fencer.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, in high school and well, actually mostly in junior high, but then also a little bit when I was in grad school, I did some fencing.
Did you use sabers? Did you get to that point, or were
No,
you
not
no?
sabers. I was an épée fencer.
Uh-huh.
Épée is the closest thing you have to dueling.
Hmm.
The rules are a lot less restrictive in épée fencing.
Hmm.
Basically, the whole body is target in épée fencing. Now, only thrusts count. But let me just tell you that to use swords the way they did, you have to have incredible wrist strength and flexibility.
Hmm.
And you have to be able to move that weapon as though it's an extension of your arm. And David Boreanaz doesn't do that very well, but Sarah Michelle Gellar does it exceedingly well.
That's interesting.
She could have been quite good at real sword combat. You have to understand, though, she has a background. Before she was even before she was cast as Buffy, she was a black belt in Taekwondo.
Oh, I thought she became one during the series. That
No, no, she was
she
one
okay.
already.
She was one already.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was one already. So, that's why a lot of her stunt work is pretty believable.
Hmm.
And if you go back and read what people said about it, one of the things about her that she got this relationship, I mean, this reputation for being extremely hard to work with. What we
Hmm.
find out now is that she wasn't extremely hard to work with. She was advocating for all the other actors and the crew members when Joss Whedon wanted to do 14, 16, 18-hour shifts.
Yeah, I hope that's true, and that's not just her story.
I don't think
Um,
it is because I've heard it repeated by other people who
yeah,
were
I've
on
heard that
set.
they get along, like those folks get along now, but they did not all get along at the time. They did not all get along with her at the time, but they came to
Yeah, well,
later
what's
with a more of appreciation for each other.
well, yeah, but the thing is that uh if you go back and look at what Allison Hannigan says
Hmm.
now, uh, she says a lot. There were tensions between her and Sarah, but
Right.
a lot of that was pushed by Whedon.
Yes, well, that is definitely part of the story with him and how abusive he was.
So, but I and the thing is, I think the studio was fine with it.
Yeah.
And so I think this is more a corporate culture kind of problem than working with her because she didn't really have that reputation much before.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll get to the best fight scene in Buffy,
I
but
wonder if it's the other one I'm thinking of.
and
We'll
that's a
see.
close one, but that's not it.
Hmm.
The problem with fight scenes in Buffy is that nobody really challenges her,
Um, I
not
don't
in
know
the
that
long run.
not in the long run, right? I
Not
mean,
in the long run.
she
She
she's
almost
gotten her ass
always
kicked. She got her ass kicked sometimes.
prevails. Oh yeah, she got her ass kicked a lot.
Yeah.
But in the long run, there's not much challenge to her. There's some differences. There's Glory.
Hmm.
Buffy did not defeat Glory.
Right.
Giles killed her.
Hmm.
So spoiler alert for a 25-year-old TV show.
Yeah. So I've
Okay.
got two fights in my head that you could name for your favorite from there.
Yeah,
But
we'll see
anyways,
if I get one of them.
yeah. Um, is it my turn or your turn?
It's your turn.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell one that's going to steal one of yours. I know this
Okay.
for a fact, but it was my number four. So this is when our lists become a mush. And that's the fight between Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Betcha
we'll
that was.
that's in my top five too.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. I put it
It
down there and I thought, oh, well, it's all right. It's
Well,
part
go
of
ahead and
why
tell me
it's hard to
why,
do
and
top
then
list.
we'll talk about what I like about it so much.
Well, I appreciate the creativity of it. It wasn't just a I mean, the choreography of the fight was spectacular.
Well, and it happens over a very big space.
Hmm. It and yeah, and I'm really thinking of that last section between the two of them when Captain
Yep,
America shows up. But the creativity of it, I think of when he drops the knife from the one hand into the other.
yep.
I've never seen that before. I don't know if that's a good idea in an actual fight, but it sure looked like it was in this one. I mean, there were a lot of creative moments like that.
You know what that made me think of?
What's that?
Their forbidden style of offense with the lightsaber. You know, there's a forbidden style, right, by the Jedi.
I know there's the Forbidden Sword. No, I don't. Which series is this from? I don't know.
I don't remember what it's from, but the forbidden style of Jedi fighting with a lightsaber is where you turn the other guy's or turn your lightsaber on and off, and then back on again. So where you drop the lightsaber, it turns off. You push the lightsaber into somebody's midsection and then turn it back on.
Huh.
So you purposely disengage contact from the other guy's lightsaber by turning it off. Then, because you've left an opening for him, he thinks he's going to kill you. Your opponent thinks he's going to kill you. So he's now actually thinks he's at an advantage, but because your lightsaber's off, you can maneuver it better, turn it on, and kill the guy instantly.
I wonder if I saw this or if it's just in one of the series I haven't seen. I have to admit, I just got exhausted by all the Star
Yeah, me
Wars
too. And some
series.
of them are not worth watching.
Uh-huh.
Um, but that's what that reminded me of, where you
Hmm.
drop the knife. And of course, we see that again in another show we've already mentioned that happens in Game of Thrones more than
Hmm.
once.
It was it's a great look. And
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is and this actually sort of harkens back to part of the trouble why I didn't think that the Buffy versus Angel fight was actually all that good choreography wise, is that everything's different in it. You don't see any you don't see any repeated moments.
Yeah.
And that's I think is and the music sure helped.
Well, so this is what I really love about that scene. And that's my number one fight scene.
Oh, I got your number one. I'm sorry.
No, I don't care. That's
Oh.
fine. That's fine. We discuss these. So it's my number one fight scene for a bunch of reasons. The first one is it's not mano a mano. It's a team effort on
Hmm.
the part of the event, the protagonists.
Hmm.
It's not just Captain America. It's also Black Widow and Falcon.
Yeah, you step back and expand that more than I do, and I see why for
Yeah,
sure.
and so uh, there are one-on-one fight scenes and there are group fight scenes, and the one-on-one fight scenes have to be a lot more detailed, but I think the group fight scenes are a lot more complicated
Sure. Yeah.
because that fight scene really starts with him driving down the road and uh, out of nowhere, Bucky reaches in with his metal arm and rips the agent, what's his face, out of the car and throws him on the highway.
Hmm.
That's the beginning of that fight. And then you have this whole sequence on the highway. Then once their car is disabled, they go to underneath the highway in the overpass on the overpasses. And each player on Captain America's team plays a different part. And that had to all be coordinated, even if you did it in separate shots, that's even more complicated.
Hmm.
And so that's really what I like about this is the scope and the complexity of the fight scene. That's what's great.
Yeah.
The one-on-one part is really great because you can tell these guys spent a million hours
Yeah.
doing choreography.
Well, it's like you say, complexity. And that really is the same thing when I was saying nothing is the same twice. It's always, yeah, yeah. It's a tremendous
So,
fight scene.
well, in another way, what you find out when you do these kinds of combat sports competitively is that people don't do everything different every time.
Right.
People have a stock set of moves.
Well, they have a stock set, but then you start going through them, I guess I would say again, like
Yes, and so
katas and martial arts.
what happens in real situations like this, as real
Hmm.
as you can get without being in combat, is you learn what people's fight patterns are. And
Hmm.
then if you can do it quick enough, you learn how to take advantage of them.
Hmm.
The thing about the Buffy Angel fight is that they do the same things over and over again.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's how it really works.
I know that's how it really works, and that's very part of my problem with it is I don't think it plays well cinematically.
That may be true.
Hmm.
Yeah, that I can understand that point of view. But nobody cares about this in this Captain America Winter Soldier battle.
Hmm.
And the best part about it is, especially the knife fighting, you can see there's real technique here. It's not just these cool moves that look great. Sebastian Stan spent hundreds of man hours learning how to knife fight. You can tell.
Oh,
You can tell
must
by the
have.
way
Yeah.
it's choreographed.
Hmm.
And he talks about this. He said he would walk around the streets just flipping these knives around his hands all the time,
Yeah.
and people would look at him like he was dangerous.
Because so much of that was actually the actors going.
Oh,
Um,
and that's the thing. These two actors really committed to the fight
hmm.
in that final choreography, and nobody pulling punches, nobody holding back. This is pure uh, physicality, and
Yeah.
that's really what I love about the thing. There's a lot of reasons to watch this fight. The other thing is, and I talked to you a little bit about this, is that it's fast. It's really fast, especially the close up stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I have a pretty quick eye for this kinds of thing, but in a lot of movies, this is my big problem with the John Wick movies. The actors move faster than your eye can catch. Now that's editing part of it,
Yeah.
but
Except for the first person shooter parts.
yeah,
Yeah.
people don't move that fast in fights. They
Hmm.
just don't. There are some people who are faster than others. And I just thought of a really great other fight scene that I want to mention because it has Keanu Reeves in it too.
Hmm.
It's from the movie Dangerous Liaison. Did you see that
I
movie?
don't think I ever actually saw it. I'm aware of it, but
There is an actual sword fight between him and John Malkovich. There's a
hmm.
duel. And within about 2 minutes, both of them are utterly, as the British would say, knackered. They're just exhausted from the sword fight. That's real.
Yeah.
That is how those things really go.
Yeah. And I'm gonna
Sure, there's
have
a couple
some
of
of that
quick
kind
moves
of
at the
thing.
beginning, but the adrenaline and the physical the strength and the endurance it requires to actually fight this way is massive, and you run out of gas quick. And so that's really realistic. I really love that. It's just a short little 4 or 5 minute duel scene, but both of them are just exhausted. And usually, what happens in a situation like that is the person who gets tired fast dies first.
My If we get to it without you getting to it, and you might, because I think it's a one that a lot of people like. My number one is heavy on that, but we'll get
Yeah.
to that. It's very heavy on that.
Okay, it's my turn.
Hmm.
Mine is going to come for mostly cultural value for its impact on other fight scenes in science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of choreography, it's not a great fight scene. But you have to take into context the time. You know what I'm going to talk about when I say Star Trek, don't you?
Oh God, I know my favorite fight scene in Star Trek. I don't know if it's the
In
same
all
one.
of Star Trek,
I mean, all of Star Trek.
this is original series fight.
Okay, yep, original series. I have my favorite fight in original series, but I don't know if it's.
It's a
Oh,
muck time.
well,
It's a muck
it's got to
time.
be. Yeah, it's got to be a muck time.
It's a
Yeah,
muck time.
I was
And
thinking my. Yeah, yeah, of course.
yeah, it's a muck time.
Hmm.
This has
That's a great
such
fight.
incredible cultural impact for science fiction. It's crazy. And
Hmm.
it bleeds into other genres. I mean, there's the whole Jim Carrey medieval times send up of it
Hmm.
in The Cable Guy. You know what I'm talking about?
No, no, never saw that. Thought you were going to keep going with that. Sorry.
Well, so in that movie, Jim Carrey's character ends up fighting the guys in the medieval times nights. So he he jumps out there and he gets involved with them, and he kind of hums the music to the Amok Time fight. When we get off, you'll have to look it up. But first of all, Kirk versus Spock. Oh my God,
Yeah, it had a lot of emotional impact too. It
it
really did.
yeah, it does because Spock is out of his mind.
Yeah,
Spock would kill Captain Kirk in this situation.
yeah,
There's no question. So the friendship is on the line. The Spock's career is on the line.
yeah.
Um, there's a lot of uh, there's a lot at stake at this in this fight.
Hmm.
And then you can't ignore the music.
Oh, yeah.
The music is brilliant for a fight scene. And it's all tied with the ritual that comes, the Vulcan rituals that come before this challenge.
Hmm.
And it's the total fight scene, except the choreography. You know, uh, William Shatner is slow and ponderous. And, he shows some physical strength in the fight and he
Hmm.
shows a little agility.
Yeah,
He's just outgunned, outsmarted, outmatched with Spock, though.
yeah. Well, he's having trouble keeping his breath because of the
Right.
atmosphere.
And you're just you left alone. Kirk dies.
Hmm.
He dies,
They had to be
and
sneaky.
and you are led to believe that, and it works.
Hmm.
And it works in the story it's telling. It works in the catharsis at the end when you find out the
Yeah.
result of the fight.
And when he's
It
like,
works.
Jim.
Yeah, it works for all of that. And so I think this is a really influential, really important fight scene in the genre. I just do. I don't think you get away from it in any kind of dual combat that you see in any further science fiction.
Yeah, that's a great one. And I
It's
do
not my
think,
number one. It's my number four, but I think it's a good one.
well, so my number three, I know I'm going to steal another one from you, so I think I'm going to skip it.
Maybe not.
Oh, I am. I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna give you my number two,
I
and I'll
bet.
give you my number three next, because
Okay.
that way you'll probably get to this.
I don't
I
know.
can't poach another one from you. Um, but so I'll jump to my number two and go back to my number three.
Okay.
And my number two is the bamboo forest scene in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah. See, I didn't include any of that because that's a sorry. Those are kung fu movies.
Yeah, but it's not a kung fu movie.
Well,
I see. That's the thing. I thought it because we had said no kung fu movies, but I mean, I think that it was a movie with kung fu in it, but I don't think it was a kung fu movie. You know what I
well,
mean?
the whole movie's a love story,
Yeah.
and it's a love story that most Westerners could not possibly understand.
Mm.
Most Westerners could not understand of being madly in love with someone and making sure you never do anything about it ever.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I totally get you on that. That
That's
makes a
that's a
lot of
love
sense.
story. That's a love story that has kung fu in it, And I think you could probably, especially from that perspective, that Western perspective, you could call it a fantasy.
Yes.
Because in our culture of love stories, once you love someone, you don't care about anything else.
Hmm.
Friends, brothers, husbands, don't care. I'm obsessed. This is what I'm going to get. And that's very not Chinese.
Yeah, and that's what I
Um,
would call it, is a fantasy. And I mean, it was written largely with the West in mind. Um,
yeah, in terms of the impact of the kung fu scenes, but not in terms of theme.
though the theme was very, I agree with you about the theme, but I do think it was largely made for Western audiences. I think that's
Oh,
why
I'm
they
sure of
knew they were
that.
going to make a lot of money. But that is, it's dancing. All right.
Nobody better than Chow Yun Fat at this kind of
Oh,
choreography.
Chow Yun
Nobody.
Fat is great. Yeah.
The only person who comes close, and she comes very close, is Michelle Yeoh.
I was about to say that. I knew you were going there, and she was in
Michelle
there
Yeoh is a
too.
badass.
Oh my God. Do you ever see Super Cop?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
No, Michelle Yeoh is man. Uh, I would do whatever she asked me to do because if you don't, she might kill you with her little
Yeah.
finger.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She
She
for a long time she was one of my big Hollywood crushes. Absolutely.
well, and people talk about her. They should talk about her in the hushed, reverent tones. They talk about oh, what's his name?
Um,
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Why couldn't we
Everybody
think of
talks about
Jackie
Jackie
Chan?
Chan in these hushed, reverent tones for his capabilities. Yeah, Michelle Yeoh should be talked about that way too.
I couldn't one
She
of us
has
think of
had,
Jackie Chan. That's
she has,
crazy.
I mean, either she has uh broken all the bones.
Yeah.
She's had all the internal injuries. She's done all of this stuff. But the thing about her is Jackie Chan's a bull in a china shop. She is fluid grace
Yeah.
all the way through the most difficult, most complex, most physically taxing fight choreography you can have.
Hmm.
She's a genius at this. And, this all starts at a young age, but man, she's just great. And I thought about using Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. What scene are you thinking of specifically? The bamboo,
The bamboo
where they're
forest
flying through the
scene.
bamboo. That's a
Yeah.
great scene.
That's
That's a really
just
good
it's
one.
gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Some
Yeah, that era had a lot of good movies with stuff like that.
mhm.
Did you see House of Flying Daggers?
No, I didn't. I was aware of it, but I
That's
did not
another
see
good
it.
one. Did you
No.
see Hero?
Yeah.
All of those movies. And here's where we're going to bring that guy's name up,
Good.
Yuen Wo Ping.
Right, right. And that's why when you mentioned him before, I was like, yeah, there's more coming.
Now, I've got something that's going to blow your
Yeah, you
mind.
will.
I have a friend who basically was the assistant editor on um, The Phantom Menace.
Oh,
And
no
when you're
kidding.
the assistant editor on Phantom Menace, you do all the work. The editor gets all the credit,
Hmm.
but you do all the hard work. And he said that he and the editor did everything they possibly could. They cut sizzle reels of Yuen Wo Ping's choreography. They did everything they possibly could to convince George Lucas to hire Yuen Wo Ping to do the choreography for the lightsaber battles in the Phantom Menace. Can you imagine? And this was almost my number one, but I didn't put it in here. But the duel between Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon Jinn to Yuen Wo Ping choreography.
I don't know. The Ray Park choreography was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was, but it would not have been like
I don't know if I agree with that. It was just too perfect the way it was, and I think there might have been too much wire work, or um, I don't know. I don't know. That's an
well.
interesting question, and I'm so glad you brought up that movie because that's the one I skipped because I didn't want to take away another one from you.
Good, bring that one up.
Now you got it.
Okay.
It's all you. You got it. You
No,
brought it
it's
up. You're a winner.
that movie is that I think, and that's not my favorite one from Star Wars. I'll tell you my favorite one from Star Wars, but it also is and in fact I think that's is that my number two or is that my number three? Hold on a second. It's my number three. But my number three is a different Star Wars one, but it's for context. It's not necessarily for fight itself.
Uh-huh.
It is partially. So, if you want to talk about Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, do, because all I did was mention it. So tell me why you like it so much.
Oh, well, I thought for sure it must be on your list.
It's
Um,
not. I picked a different one from Star Wars, a much more obscure one.
no, okay. Well, I like it for the that's another one I like for the complexity, honestly. It's choreographing a three-way fight like that. Well, it's not literally a three-way fight, but two against one. And they do it for such a long time.
Yeah.
Um, and it's very creative. I mean, I think that's another one where the complexity and the sheer athleticism of it
Yeah.
in some parts, not with all of them, but certainly with Ray Park, it's just extraordinary to watch. That one is another one that, even though it's a little more sort of traditionally brutal, it is one that seems like they're dancing.
Yeah. It's elegant. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. It's like ballet in that it's extremely athletic, but it's elegant.
yeah, yeah. Smooth. It
Um,
flows. It
and then, of
can.
course, we talked about the music that they use for the Duel of the Fates.
Oh yeah.
That really adds a big other dimension to the fight scene. And then I have some very funny anecdote about that. I saw both at separate occasions, both Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson talking about doing that fight choreography.
Hmm.
And they said at the beginning, George Lucas would get mad at them every time they did something, tried to film something, because, you do that in silence. There are no sound effects for the lightsabers
Oh yeah, of course. Right,
when you're
right,
when
right.
you're doing
When you're
when
just
you're
doing
actually
it.
shooting the scene.
I was completely
So
confused for a minute there. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
involuntarily, both Ewan McGregor and Qui-Gon Jinn were going when they were doing the fight work. They had to be stopped. Lucas had to stop them and say, "Stop making those sounds." So
Yeah,
that's how natural the training became. That's how much muscle memory they were used, because they knew when to make the sounds for the lightsabers at the right time. And these guys are trained actors, and yet they still couldn't get over the enthusiasm of this.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Ewan McGregor tells a couple of other great stories about being a Jedi. He said that he still does this thing, this little motion wave with his fingers when he walks into automatic doors. So
There was a moment
Obi-Wan
there.
Kenobi still does the way Ewan McGregor still does the wave thing with his two fingers, like he's using the Force when he gets to automatic
Mm.
doors.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And somebody asked him if he had ever been recognized as Obi-Wan Kenobi out in public, and he said he was driving his daughter to school one day,
Mm-hmm.
and these idiot kids drove up really fast and cut him off. And so he's like, I'm going to teach those guys a lesson. So he drives up really close to them and rolls down the window. And the kid goes, "Oh shit, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi."
I was gonna say, of course, people recognized him.
He said it didn't happen very often, but he was
Mhm.
talking about,
Really?
yeah, he said, "Oh shit, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi."
That's great.
So, yeah, so let's talk about my Star Wars fight.
Sure.
And
And
my
which number
Star,
is this on your list? Is this number
this
three?
is, I think it's number three. Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, it's number three. It's from the TV show Obi-Wan.
Oh, the big fight at the end?
Yes.
That's a great fight.
It well, it is. It has all the technical points you want out of that fight.
Yeah.
But here's the reason why I love it. Darth Vader, biggest badass in the universe by this time, right? In the galaxy by this time,
Except he's not.
still can't beat Obi-Wan.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're familiar with the movies, which I assume everybody is, you knew that had to happen.
Yes.
But it was still so satisfying to see.
Still can't beat the master. Still can't, never will until the master goes, "All right, strike me down, whatever."
Yep, yep.
He cannot beat him. And the anger and frustration and pure furious rage that Anakin Skywalker shows,
Hmm.
Darth Vader shows in this fight is just that's what makes the whole fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even half buried and close to death, Obi-Wan still beats him,
Hmm.
still beats him. And this just sets up the futility uh, of this duel between these two people.
Yeah.
Darth Vader will never, ever, Anakin Skywalker will never have what it takes to be a Jedi Master. Never, ever, ever, ever.
Yeah.
And this movie just puts the final nail in that coffin. You're never going to be good enough. And there's a real emotional resonance to that fight. There
There
really
is.
is. There
Um,
really is. And so that's I thought about this, and there's so many good lightsaber battles in Star Wars.
there
There's Return
are.
of the Jedi. There's the Duel of the Fates in Phantom Menace. There's uh you want to talk about the multiple fight. I like this movie for the fight choreography. I mean, this fight for the fight choreography. You talk about multiple opponents. Snoke, Rey, uh, Kylo Ren,
Yeah, that's an
and the
interesting
Imperial
fight.
Guards. That's a damn good fight,
Yeah.
but it lacks context. It lacks emotional resonance. It lacks stakes
They sure
because,
throw that curveball.
yeah,
Suddenly when it's over, it was a shock.
yeah, yeah,
Whoa, what just happened?
yeah,
So that helped a lot.
yeah. It does help, but
Hmm.
it's there are some great fights in all of those movies, and the invention of the lightsaber and the use of force in a duel that is just that's incredible. That's quite the innovation using
Yeah.
both of those things. But this one has the emotional just sledgehammer.
And it's as good as the previous Obi-Wan Anakin fight was bad. I
Yeah.
think that was
Yeah.
a terrible fight. I have the high ground. God. God help me.
But yeah, he doesn't matter how much of a badass Darth Vader is. He's not going to measure up. He's just not.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have anything to do with his technical skill. It has to do with his character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's
that's a good one. That's a really good one. If
then
I'd
so
thought
that's
of
why that's
that,
my
I might
number
have put
three.
that in. I might
And
have
that's
put
my
that
only
in.
Star Wars one
Hmm.
because I think a lot of them are more conventional and have less at stake.
Well,
And go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, do you want to do another one? Because the only one left I've got is my number one. You could do
Yeah, I've
one,
got
and
two of them left. Let's
then
do
I'll
number two.
do number two, and then I'll do mine, and then you can do the top, and then
We're
we'll
going to go
do.
back to Buffy here.
Oh, we are.
Season three,
It's the one with the snake.
Buffy versus
Oh, of course.
Faith.
Faith. Yeah. Why can't I think of anybody's name today? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
This
also thought about that fight now that you
this
mention
is
it. It's a
Slayer on
great
Slayer
fight.
action.
It's a
Slayer on Slayer
terrific fight.
action. It's long. It
Hmm.
is over a very large space. But it's really the emotional resonance. And here's why. Angel's gonna die if he doesn't get Slayer blood.
Hmm.
So good little Girl Scout Buffy, who never tries to kill anybody, especially not mortals, she is out for blood.
Hmm.
She does not care if Faith lives or dies as long as Angel can feed from her. You
Hmm.
don't see this in Buffy ever again until season 5, where
Right.
she has to protect Dawn. And then
Hmm.
instead of being out for blood, she sacrifices.
Right.
But this is Slayer, righteous Slayer fury unleashed.
Yeah, it's
And
terrific.
neither one of these girls is holding back.
It's a
In
big
the scenes,
reminder too of why, I mean, of how Buffy really raised the bar for a lot of that fight choreography forever.
yeah, it really does.
Hmm.
And but this is the interplay of story, technical expertise, and context. I just think it's one of the best things in TV or movies.
Hmm.
It's an extended fight. There are evenly matched. Uh, Buffy only has the advantage because of her moral courage. Uh, physically and technically, she and Faith are right there. And
Hmm.
that is reflected in the fight choreography. Nobody has an advantage until Faith slips up, and it's because Buffy is talking to her.
Hmm.
And the only reason why Buffy doesn't technically win is Faith jumps off the building.
Right. Well, she wins in that sense. Just doesn't
But
kill her.
well, she loses because the whole point was to bring her Faith's was to bring Faith to Angel.
Yeah, I would still count that as a win. She just didn't get what she needed from it, but she
Well, she
came out
didn't
on top.
achieve the objective of her fight.
Right, right. It
The
wasn't a
objective of
dramatic win. It was a
yeah,
fight win, though,
yeah. But
or
it's just
story win.
beautiful. And if you're listening, the 40 people who are listening to us, please go back and rewatch this scene. It is much better technically than you think. It
Yeah,
is. I mean, they really have figured it out by season three. And I go back and forth. I can't decide if season three or season five is my favorite. Season five, I think, because after that, the show is never the same.
that's interesting. Season three is definitely my favorite season.
But for me, season five changes everything
Hmm.
for the whole series. Buffy is different. The relationship between them and the Scoobies is different.
Hmm.
After season five, she has literally faced death head on.
Hmm.
And then, so I think it changes the whole tone of the show. But anyway, that's my number two. It's definitely my number two because it's just got everything you want out of a great fight scene. It's got
Yeah,
context, it's got drama, it's got it's important for the exposition of the story, the season long story arc. It's beautiful technically, and there are real stakes here for everybody around in this fight.
yeah. Well, I'll give you my number one.
Yeah, let's hear your number one since
This
you've already
one,
heard mine.
oh God, you're right. But you've got
Well, that's
another one after this, right?
I don't
Oh
have one. But
shit! I'm sorry. I made you jump ahead. I
no, that
was
doesn't matter.
oh, okay.
I was able to get my points across, and that's all. Who
Okay.
cares?
Well, my number one is it's it's not even close for me, and that's the
Yeah.
hallway scene in the second episode of the first season of Daredevil.
Ooh,
That scene. I mean, it's played as one shot, and I don't know that it really was one shot because there's a couple points where the camera pans over into all darkness that they easily could have switched, like they
yeah,
do in Birdman, which looks like one shot but isn't really. But anyway, it's set up as one shot, and Daredevil's already wounded.
yep,
It helps that he's not in his Daredevil suit. He's just dressed in black and he's got the thing over his eyes. And he has to take on the stakes are right there. There's this kid who is going to die in the back room
yeah,
at the end of the hall, but it's all looking down this hall.
yep,
And you move around a little to the other sides of the hall, but most of the time you're looking down this hall to the door, which is where the kid is, which is, the goal here.
yeah,
And it's brutal. They're so
yeah,
tired. They are so tired. And he just keeps going. And they keep coming back because his punches are so weak.
yep.
But it's just raw determination. And just watching it, it's mesmerizing.
Now, let me tell you about this. I
Mhm.
had to stop watching the show because of that fight scene.
Really.
It was too intense. It was too brutal. It was too focused. I had to come back to it several weeks later.
Mhm.
That and all the fight scenes in that show are just. It's not Superman taking a bulldozer to the chin.
Mhm.
It's oh, I'm going to bleed now because he just punched me in the liver.
Right.
Oh, I just got a shot to the kidney. There's going to be blood in my urine tomorrow. Oh, wait. I think my occipital bone is broken. I hope my eyeball doesn't fall
Doesn't
out.
fall out, right?
Those fights are, I mean, takes place in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, there's nothing like that one for me though. I mean,
No,
that's
there's really
that's
not.
the
I
one
mean,
I carry off with
even
me.
the scenes that you get in The Punisher, not
With
like that.
yeah,
The scenes you get in The Punisher show are almost cartoon like.
yeah,
There's no cartoon to this. This
mhm,
is holy crap.
yeah,
This guy is going to be debilitated the next day. And you get a little hint of that in some of the Batman movies. Not like this.
Yeah, that's
Not like
that.
this.
I've never had a fight that I've carried away and that is stuck in my head so much as that
Yeah,
one.
that
I
that's
can
like
watch
real
it
fighting.
over and over again.
Yeah, that's like real fighting. I can't
Yeah.
I can't watch stuff that intense. I just can't watch it for very long. So
Well,
I had to
that's
put
all
my
I got.
yeah. I think I only ended up with nine, but I think one of them got lost in there somewhere. But this was fun, and it was a lot more interesting and a lot more intellectual and exercise than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, there's a lot, just a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, you
So
have to
that's fun.
unpack it. You
Yeah.
really do. And when I went into this, I thought, oh, this is going to be great. We're just going to talk about some cool fight scenes. But then you start wondering, I mean, you start thinking about why is this so good? What is it about that?
Right. Right. I
And then you
mean,
start looking at music and you start looking at characters and you start looking at plot and
right. How much do you hate the bad guy? How much do you love the good guy? Fear, um, the choreography, the stakes, everything we said before, but the acting, which is another thing I really like. Sometimes the acting really matters. A lot of times, probably most times it doesn't, but that Daredevil scene, that stunt guy got to act and he had to act. He had to, collapse against the wall and just show how tired he was and how
yeah.
little he had left. So that must have been fun for him because I think most of those folks who do that, they're probably just going in and doing their dance and coming out.
I forgot one, and I love this movie. I
Hmm.
love this scene. Did you see the Marvel series Hawkeye?
Oh yeah.
Every fight between Yelena Belova and Kate Bishop, it's done with fun. It's done with a sense of humor. The whole stuff about having one fork and catching the sriracha bottle, all that stuff was uh, Florence Pugh's idea.
Oh really? That's great.
Having the food and catching that bottle and giving her shit for having one fork. But there's the whole scene where she's taking the elevator to go and kill Clint
Hmm.
Barton, and Kate Bishop hits all of the buttons on the elevator.
That was a lot of fun.
And Florence Pugh, I mean, Yelena Belova, this professional assassin, has just got this real lightness and humor in the whole scenes. And and man, I would love to see more stuff between Kate Bishop and Yelena Belova because those two actresses had real chemistry.
Oh yeah. I mean, I doubt
And
we're going to, but I hope we get to.
I think we might in Doomsday.
Is Kate Bishop in that? I don't think she's supposed to be in there. Well, there's could be more. They're telling us there's
Well,
going to
yeah,
be
they're
more than we
saying that
see.
Chris
So
Evans isn't going to be in the movie either, but I can't see that happening.
oh, I thought he had one of the chairs. Oh dear, he
Nope,
didn't.
he does
Well,
not.
that's sad. He'll be there.
Well, I think they're going to bring him back as Captain Hydra.
Oh, that could just make an appearance to be one of
Yeah,
the. Yeah, I
it
can
could be
see that.
it's going to be a cameo, but
Mhm.
um, uh, yeah, those fight scenes are just terrific. They're a ton of fun. They're technically really difficult. The whole thing about her being in the jacket and
Mhm.
whipping out of her jacket. And I really love this scene where Kate Bishop slaps her across the face.
Oh yeah.
And Yelena Belova says, "What was that?" Kate Bishop's like, "I don't know. I'm sorry." So
Yeah,
that's a
that's
great
great.
fight scene. I wish I had remembered to bring that one up because it's great. It's
Yeah.
just, it has it has the emotional resonance you want. It has the kind of interesting, uh, uh, you know, part to play in the plot. They both get to act in a comic way. That they both have great comedic timing. Um, Although I read a reviewer after seeing the Thunderbolts, he said we should stop calling it the MCU and call it the MC Pew. I'm telling you, the emotional weight and depth that she has, they need to feature her more.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's really great in those movies. And I thought Lizzie Olsen was great at that. Not like Florence Pugh. There's a reason why Florence Pugh has an Academy Award,
Yeah.
and she doesn't hold back the acting chops in these movies.
No, and she can act through that accent really well. Not everybody can put on a fake
David
accent
David
and
Harbour.
talk through it. And yeah, he has trouble acting through it. Yeah.
But there's a reason why she's an A-lister, and I love her commitment to these movies.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
So Martin
Definitely.
Scorsese, you're still wrong.
All right. Well, folks,
Because I mean,
this has been a fun conversation to have.
who else could play Yelena Belova?
Oh, well,
Nobody.
not at this point. After
No.
we've seen this character, she's wrecked it forever.
Yeah. Yeah, this was really good. This was one of yours. I'm glad you thought of this. This was good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Heavy pause there. My bad. I'll have to edit that out. Um, well, yeah. So let's head
Thank.
out for now. This was a lot
Yep.
of fun. And what are we talking about next time? I think next time is
I
when
don't
we're
think we've.
talking. Oh, we've got the movies for the Trump era, I think,
Oh
next
yeah,
time. So
yeah,
that'll be
that'll be
fun
great.
too. All right. Well, take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next time. Thanks, guys.
Our theme music is by Christopher Piatek.